In the 1960s, 20% of the people in the richest countries had 30 times the earnings of the poorest 20%. In 1997, 74 times as much. And this number just continues to rise today. Poverty has haunted us for generations, and it's about time we take a serious stand against it. Poverty, well, it's difficult for me to explain, because I don't know who is really responsible for it. The poor people who have no jobs, or the middle and rich class people who really don't do much to help them. Have all the poor people been indolent, made poor judgments, and been solely responsible for the predicament? At times, I wonder what it feels like to be poor, to not have any decisions to make, to live life as if every day was my last. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to visit India. That day, it was a scorching 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The area I was in, it had rundown buildings, congested streets, very poor infrastructure. There was no room to walk. As I was walking down a small alley, I feel a small tug on my shorts. As I look down, to my despair, there's a small kid standing there, barefoot, covered in filth. Abhi, whose name I later found out to be, stood there and begged. He begged for the last of my change. And I wondered, under what good judgment did he deserve to live like that? Does he even have a place to live? A place to sleep? Does he have parents? Would you care if he got run over by a truck? How about you? Would you care if he died of starvation tonight? Would any of you care? Revolution begins as an initiative, and it's only there we have experienced a great change. Poverty is one phenomenon that we all must tackle together. Corruption and the misuse of resources have turned many countries around the world handicapped. And as one of the most powerful nations in the world, it's about time we set an example. An example that can only be set once poverty is eliminated or reduced to the very minimal on our very own soil. History is evidence that sometimes a leader can make a difference. Franklin Roosevelt once said, "The mark of a country is not how much we do for those that have enough, but for those that have too little." Under his great leadership and the support of others, we were able to get through the Great Depression. And some of the programs started under his campaign still exist today, revealing the lasting impression that a leader can have on generations to come. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 39.6 million people in America live under the poverty line, a figure that includes 12 million children. 12 million children. In spite of the abundance of resources we have in America, a child dies of starvation around the world every 3 seconds. £100 billion of food is wasted in America each year. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, 1/5 of our food ends up in our landfill each and every year. That is 130 pounds of food per person ending up in our landfills. Value of that? $31 billion. You know what? Let me put this in perspective for you. 49 million people 49 million people could have been saved by those lost resources. Wait a second. Wait just a second. How many people did I say live under the poverty line here in America? 39.6 million. That is more than enough to feed all those poor people, and I have yet to ask for a dime of your money. If one of the most powerful nations in the world sets an example like that, how are we to blame others for not giving a shot? How can we blame others? In order to be a leader, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be famous. An ordinary person like you and me can make a difference. 700 million hungry people around the world can use our help. Now, I'm not saying to become a leader is easy. It's, at times, could be hard. Your opinions may be shot down. You may run out of funds. It may seem as if the whole world is against you. But a true leader stays strong and fights through with his goals. Poverty is perhaps the fault of all of us combined. Every economic class plays a role in this process. Indeed, poor people alone are not solely responsible for their plight. Sometimes external factors can play a huge role in determining the future of a human being. So if we're not going to help these people, then who will? We can throw a man on the moon. We can create artificial intelligence. And you're telling me we can't win this war against poverty? Those that sit back today will be deemed the true criminals of the future generations of tomorrow. So go out, reach out, raise awareness, tutor kids, go to your local communities. I challenge you. I challenge each and every one of you to go out and make a change. There are 6.8 billion people on this planet. 6.8 billion people on this planet. And sometimes all it takes is just one. Thank you.